I just wanna stop. I'm singing, hey, this little part right here. Some movies are made about time disappears. There's no place for doubts. Now don't you be afraid, yeah, to tell her one day, yeah. Seeing her right there, I just wanna stop and sit and stare.
Hi, Marty. Well, I'm Dylan.
Yes.
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee right now on my porch.
On your porch. So it's Friday there. Is it the day of your release, right?
Yeah, the album just dropped today. And I've been sitting inside trying to hit everybody back who's sending me congratulations and lovely words from all over the place.
Cool. Well, thank you for taking time out of this special day to talk to me. It's pretty exciting. What do you got planned for tonight? Anything?
No, so I'm taking it pretty easy this weekend. I have the album release show next weekend, so the 15th.
Right.
That's when we're probably really gonna let loose. But right now I'm just taking it easy, trying to breathe in the fact that I just released 2 years worth of work.
So how does that feel?
It's pretty bittersweet, you know. It's beautiful because I've been imagining the moment of releasing these works, which have, you know, the recording process has been 2 years, but I mean, some of these songs are as old as, 6 years old.
Right.
So it's fairly bittersweet, but I'm sitting in the realization that finally it's out in the world and anybody who wants to hear can listen to it now.
This is true. We've got it down here in New Zealand.
It's pretty awesome.
Yes, indeed it is. So obviously, since you describe it as bittersweet, it's been a bit of a struggle over the past couple of years to get this thing heard.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
say. Is it mostly COVID related, or are there other things that are going around as well?
It's mostly COVID related. Also just the struggle of being a musician trying to make it, you know. I think it's a lot of work and not a lot of sustainability that comes along with it, which is, unfortunate, but it's the times that we're in. So I like to look at it as, I do it because I love to make music. And if no money or anything bears fruit, then so be it,
Well, at least you're able to start doing some gigs, which will be a plus. That's usually how most musicians are earning money these days. Although,
well, so I'm on tour right now with an artist by the name of Maggie and Them Vibes, and I kid you not, like Nashville is touring central, and we were out on the road, like fresh when things started opening up. I mean, we have to be one of the first bands to really go around and tour small venues. So we have been adapting like crazy. I mean, the whole entire world is completely different in terms of touring.
Right.
It's reckless.
And you have to check people and make sure they're vaccinated, and they have
we're a super
and all that.
We're a super COVID conscious, distancing conscious, mask wearing conscious tour. So it's a little tougher when we go to the less inclined areas, because people get upset when you tell them that they have to wear a mask in order to come to the merch booth, and they have to they have to be vaccinated or provide a negative result. And, some people just don't like that stuff. But
and let's face it, it's not exactly what you signed up for when you decided to be a touring musician. It's like grab your guitar, get out and play, not have to deal with vaccination issues. And
that's for sure. I always thought I'd just be able to show up and play guitar, but there are definitely rules in place right now.
Right. So you mentioned Maggie Rose and the band. Both are part of your record. So my understanding is that Maggie kind of discovered you somehow, and I know you have some kind of touring musical relationship. She co-produced the album. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, actually, I was somewhat on the brink of being done with the pursuit of music. I was on the TV show The Voice.
Right.
And Kelly Clarkson was my coach. She invited me out to play at one of her shows in Pennsylvania, which Maggie was opening at. And it's a very stars aligned kind of a story, because I hopped up on stage to play my song Stop, Look and Listen, which is on the album. Yep. And Maggie and Austin, who is Maggie's husband and manager, heard the song and loved it. And my sister, who was my manager at the time, was off doing her thing and I was off doing my thing. We were in two separate sections of the arena, and I met the band in one section, and they were all talking to me, being very like embracing of the song and saying that I needed to come and play a couple of songs with them. Simultaneously, while my sister was over on the opposite side of the arena speaking with Austin about how great the song was and how much we wanted to pursue this, and how Austin wanted us to come out and open for a couple of shows. So we enter back into the arena, because I was smoking a cigarette out with the band and Chelsea was, working the merch booth or whatever. We enter back into the arena, opposite sides of this massive hallway. I mean, imagine like she is like almost a mile down the road, right? And we see each other from a distance, and I know I have something really cool to tell her. She knows she has something really cool to tell me. And we're like, oh my God, oh my God. So we start running towards each other in this hallway. We like meet each other and we're like, I have the best fucking news. Well, I have the best fucking news. And then long story short, we went out to California, opened for Maggie. They invited us to move to Nashville, and we came down here, recorded an album, and that is what is out today.
Cool. So you mentioned Stop, Look and Listen, and that opens the album. And
yeah,
I noticed, I'm kind of curious about production itself and the circumstances, but especially on that track, there's this pretty intense guitar solo near the end of the track. So give me a little background on how all that happened.
Stop, look, and listen, baby. Stop, look, and listen, baby. Stop, look, and listen, oh, to the wind. Stop, look, and listen, baby. Stop looking, yeah. Oh, to the wind.
That is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Dan Topo on that slide guitar. And Dan is one of my best friends.
Right.
We had been pursuing music together for a really long time. We had been in different bands, mostly just jamming and getting high in the basement kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, his melodic slide playing is unparalleled to anybody I've ever seen play it live. And I've always wanted to make music with him. I've always wanted him on my records. I've always wanted him on all of my songs. And Stop, Look and Listen was born sort of as a jam song. And Dan just took it, Yeah. I mean, it has like, it has all of these Allman Brothers-y notes in it, and the Tedeschi Trucks Band notes in it and stuff like that. So that's where it really drew its original inspiration, Stop, Look and Listen.
Yep.
And then Dan, with his just natural ability to pick up melody and play it, just went from there.
Right. It's amazing. But the Allman Brothers keep coming up in conversation all over the place as I'm talking to folks who are putting out new records. Now you're 25 years old. Allman Brothers Eat a Peach came out in like 1972, right? I mean, and I assume your parents had something to do with you being exposed to it, but still, that's a stretch. I mean, that's 50 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, Dan is much more well-versed on the Allman Brothers. I grew up on like classic rock stuff, like, the Eagles and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and, there was Floyd in there, there was Zeppelin in there, of course, but Dan is one of the most devout Allman Brothers fans of all time. And he introduced me to Live at the Fillmore. Right. And I heard that and I was like, done. Yep. I'm a fan now, so it was crazy.
So you got a band in the studio with you. Tell me who they are, how you guys work together. They're called Them Vibes, which you're out on tour with right now, right?
Yeah. So Them Vibes is Larry Florman and Alex Haddad, and also Wang Allman. But actually Alex is the only one from Them Vibes who's playing an instrument on there. And then Larry also does background vocals and plays percussion. But the people that are playing on the record they're the best musicians that I've ever been able to work with.
Right.
You know, that was like the peak of, I'm an idiot, right? So I'm from New Jersey, and I grew up jamming in the basement with kids that like picked up an electric guitar and like tried to figure out how to play it. So here I come to Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I have some ideas for these parts and this and that. It was all a total wash once I heard these musicians play, because you have Sarah Tomek on the drums, who is an incredible drummer. You have Kyle Whalum on the bass, who is an incredible bassist. I mean, you have Dustin Ransom on the keys. It's the combination of musicians on this album blew me away. So I wanted absolutely no part in choosing parts or picking notes or telling anybody what to figure out, because my whole mentality around music is the camaraderie of it and the combination of different artists. And I made sure that every single person playing on this album was an artist. And they came up with their parts and they played the parts that they felt benefited the song the most. And that's why I really sort of disassociate myself with this entire album. And I just see it as as a group album.
Right. But to be fair, I mean, it's great to have the best musicians you can find, but if they haven't got any songs to play, that's a problem. So you came up with the songs. So tell me about your songwriting process and what you're trying to get across here.
Yeah. So I'm very storyteller mentality. The songs that I write are meant to tell a story that other people can connect with. It could be very literal. It could, I would say majority of them are fairly literal.
Right.
They just like describe a scene. I think that comes from just my whole entire life of being in the entertainment industry.
Yep.
And that's what I try to get across as much as possible. I'm very rooted in the environment and the planet, and sort of that's what Not I is about. It's essentially my connection to the world.
Right.
And like my feet just rooting into the ground. It's like my spirituality. You have My Island, which is another sort of environmental piece, which is about me becoming this island in the middle of nowhere and falling in and out of love with this woman who washes upon my shoreline. You have Gold Rush, which is a story. And there's also a music video for Gold Rush, which I got to send that over to you, because you are going to freak out. It's
great.
So good.
All right.
Gold Rush is a story about a man just leaving everything he's ever had behind in pursuit of a dream that he's only heard through stories.
So tell me about the music video.
Oh, yeah. So Gold Rush, the music video, I spent my entire savings on it because fuck it, right?
Right.
I'm 25 and I'm pursuing music. Like, what do I need money saved for right now? For
exactly.
So I did that, and I got a bunch of my best friend, Mickey, one of my best friends, Landon, my sister, who is incredible, basically put this whole entire music video together, and I was just like there. Just a group of people that came together with a common goal of making something beautiful.
Right.
And it really wasn't like mercenary filmmakers, it wasn't anybody who didn't have a connection and heart in the project. So everybody gave a piece of themselves, and it was shot in Maryland on a horse farm. I don't want to give out too many details but I do want to let you know it's shot beautifully on an incredible camera. And it tells exactly what the story is. I mean, to the T. The song, when you listen to the song, if you close your eyes, that's what the music video is.
Nice. I can't wait to see it. Send it on.
Yeah, I'll send it over. I'll send it over right after this.
Cool. Now you also do a little duet with Maggie Rose on "Wait for Me." So it's pretty much just, it's a very kind of intimate sound, just piano and voice. So tell me about recording that.
Wait for me, wait for me, 'cause I've been broken down. Wait for me, wait for me, it's not too late to turn this around.
Yeah, so Wait for Me, Wait for Me was a co-write with me, Maggie, and Them Vibes.
Right.
And the intention behind it was for it to be super broken down, because it was written at a point in time in my life where I was really broken. And, you know, sometimes we fix it and sometimes we just like put a Band-Aid over it and see if that works. Wait for Me is just it's a beg, you know, it's a beg for somebody to give you that chance. And there's that line at the end of it that says, "Don't you go searching for someone that I'm gonna be." And it like emphasizes just change, personal growth, taking care of your mental health, and just working towards something, maybe not necessarily for yourself, but for somebody who loves you more than you ever thought that you could love yourself.
Right.
It's a plead. It really is. And Maggie came in and she was in charge of vocal production on the whole entire album, but Maggie came in and she said that she wanted to duet on it with me. And I was like, thank goodness.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Please. And we got into the studio. We were looking at each other. There were 2 microphones in the booth. They weren't separate tracks. We sang at the same time. We took that one take, and we were staring into each other's eyes the entire time.
Nice. Beautiful. So the album begins with "Stop, Look and Listen," and it ends with a tune called "Crazy," which is kind of an upbeat, more percussive track than what we hear normally on the record. So, how much time did you spend putting these tracks in order and arranging the sequence? And tell me about "Crazy."
I'm gonna take a trip and never look back. Maybe to Paris or Rio, but I'll find myself in another world where I don't have to beg, steal or borrow, and I finally break away from losing, where I don't ever have to cover my eyes. I feel like I'm going crazy.
So we sort of had it figured out from the beginning as to the order that we wanted. Like I said, I've had some of these songs for upwards of 6 years.
Right.
And I sort of knew how they flowed together. The different songs were the ones that I ended up co-writing with Them Vibes and Maggie, which was Sing That Song and Crazy and Wait for Me. Those were the ones that sort of needed to fit in, and they were also created to stand out. If that makes sense, you know, because I wanted to touch every aspect of what it means to be Dylan Hartigan, the artist. So if there was a line, "Crazy" is definitely all the way to the right? Because it's like a totally different vibe.
Right.
And then there's "Mary Made Me," which is all the way to the left, which is just me and an acoustic guitar.
Yep.
And I wanted to make sure that we touched all of those avenues so as to give the listener the ability to just try to understand every aspect of what it is to be Dylan Hartigan, the artist.
So to you, who now is Dylan Hartigan, the artist?
I have no idea. Man, I really don't. It's complicated. I'm writing a lot of songs right now. I'm in a weird space. I think this last year has been very daunting and tiring, and I've been working at this.
Yep.
And so I don't really know. I haven't really had much time as of late to dive into my soul and pull out who I am. But I do know that there's nothing that I love more in this world than getting up on stage and having an acoustic guitar in my hand and seeing people look at me and listen to my songs. And maybe that's just some sort of vanity thing, but at the end of the day, it feels really good. And I think that's important.
So you mentioned that this album is a long time coming and you've been waiting to put it out. Does it feel like now that you're putting it out today, an ending of something or a beginning of something?
It's a great question.
Usually that means it's not, but I'll let it go.
No. That's a great question. I really want to know the answer to that question. Unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that question right now, but I really want to. I want to sit here and say that it feels like an ending to it, but maybe it is. Maybe it is an ending to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
it's finally it's an ending to it being in my hands, so to speak. Now it's there.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beginning for the world to experience this album, but it's an ending for me to nitpick and push and hope for the best and all of this stuff. And it's like, now it's just, it's like 1,000,000 pounds off of my shoulder being just put out into the world.
Right.
It's a beautiful ending, but I think it is an ending.
Cool. Now I got to ask you, being on The Voice, you know, there are some people who are going to think, well, doing a TV show and being in a competition is not the best approach to being a serious artist. And others will say, of course, everybody knows who I am now. What better footstep to make it on to wherever you want to go. So you've been through that process.
Yeah.
What do you say to folks who
that process is, it's sort of like taking steroids.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
The people that naturally get to that level are much more sustainable.
Right.
But it's a quick boost.
Right.
And if you manage to get a nail in the wall or a hook in the wall while you're up there and stay there, that's great. But probably 95 to 99% of people don't get that hook in the wall.
Right.
And then the collapse afterwards it's like brutal, because you go from playing in front of 10 million people live on that show,
right,
to then going back home and playing to 10 people in the coffee shop that you were playing in beforehand.
Yep.
And I'm not ragging on it, because I think giving artists any sort of a platform is like a dream come true. But I wish that I could have done it naturally, because now it feels like there's always that thing behind my name.
And maybe you have to prove something to some people that you.
Yeah. You know, it's like, it's so hard to be considered a legitimate artist,
right,
when your following comes from this giant. It's like making, would you rather make 6 figures working at Pepsi, or would you rather make 6 figures owning your own company?
Right.
You know, like, obviously you'd rather make 6 figures owning your own company. You started it. It's your child. Like, you're the boss, and you're still making the same amount of money in both worlds, but you're working at a huge conglomerate as opposed to working for yourself, you know?
Well, that was a great answer. So thank you.
Thanks.
since you complimented me on my question, I figure it's only right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So what's the show going to be like, the record release thing, when it finally happens, the next weekend?
It's going to be incredible. I know I've been fortunate enough to meet outstanding people in the industry down here in Nashville. And they're just such a loving community that they are game for everything. I mean, I have people coming out in packs, and people that, you know, are like huge in the industry and people that aren't huge in the industry. And it's just like, boom, it's just a hodgepodge of just a bunch of people who love music.
Right.
So, I mean, them coming and embracing my music and my songs. And I was supposed to get a dude there to give tattoos, but the venue wouldn't allow it. So I was like, oh shit, that would have been really cool, but I guess can't do that.
No, I would imagine that would be frowned upon in this.
Yeah,
in this
I don't
day
know.
and
I guess,
age.
yeah. Tennessee doesn't have a lot of laws, but I guess they don't let people give out free tattoos.
Right.
Oh man.
Well,
But,
isn't Jack Daniels brewed in a dry county or something?
yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Tennessee for you.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't benefit them.
That's amazing. Oh man. So you got to do something tonight to celebrate this, besides just have a dinner.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. I mean, I got buddies. We might end up going out to a bar or something, but I'm at a point right now in my life where, I mean, being on this tour is reckless. You know, we go out every single night. We're playing every single night. We're drinking every single night. We're partying, you know, and it's like, I'm home.
Yeah. All right.
And what sounds best to me is like a cup of chamomile tea and a nice anime on
having some
TV. Oh, there you go. See,
but it is morning.
That sounds
wonderful. Great, fantastic.
Yeah, man, your place is awesome too. That's a crazy record collection.
Yes, it is.
That is awesome.
I got carried away.
Yeah, you listen to all of those?
Well, I'm trying to. I just bought a new turntable this week.
Oh, nice.
Turntable, new speakers. I figured it's time to upgrade everything. So I'm very excited about all that. Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah.
Awesome. And have you ever been to New Zealand?
I haven't. Okay. I have not.
You have to come on
but
down.
I will absolutely go. Actually, not top of January, because we have a New Year's show. But like middle of January, I am kaput. I'm done working so hard. I'm going somewhere. So I'm going to Greece for a bit to get in touch, because I'm Greek. So I want to get in touch with like my culture and my heritage for a little while.
Yep.
And then I just want to see places, meet people from different walks of life, different areas, and just experience more, because that's where most of my inspiration comes from. It's just
well, it'll be summertime here in January, February, so good time to come.
Perfect.
Well, if we can let people in again, we're kind of locked down at the moment, but it seems to be opening up finally. So,
well, don't you guys have a ton of poisonous animals?
No, we have no animals at all.
None.
You know,
I'm there.
You're mixing this up with Australia. They have the giant spiders that'll eat your face.
Yeah.
But here we got nothing. We have a kiwi bird that lives in in a hole in the ground, and is the most benign creature on the planet.
Absolutely. That's it. Perfect. Consider it done. I'm there.
I'm glad I cleared that up for you.
Yeah. No animals? Check, please.
Excellent. Well, have yourself a great day. Thank you for spending all the time talking to me on this special day of yours. Course. So it's been a real pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you for talking to me.
And I hope the record goes well. I hope the gig goes well next week and the tour continues on.
Absolutely, man. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.